The Justice Department has revealed a stunning new development in the Jeffrey Epstein saga. More than 1 million additional documents, potentially tied to the disgraced sex trafficker, have now been uncovered. In a statement posted Wednesday, the Department of Justice said the newly discovered materials were flagged by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York and the FBI, the very offices that led the original Epstein investigation. According to the DOJ, the documents are now under review for public release in accordance with the Epstein Files Transparency Act, federal law, and court orders. Officials say lawyers are working around the clock to process the massive volume of material, but warned the review could take several more weeks. The department stressed that redactions are being made to protect victims and comply with legal requirements, adding that the files will be released as soon as possible. The statement also noted the process is being carried out under President Donald Trump's direction to release the Epstein records. The announcement comes after a turbulent week of staggered disclosures. A major document dump was released on Friday, the deadline set by Congress, followed by additional releases on Saturday and Tuesday. That latest batch included multiple references to President Trump, reigniting political controversy. But the rollout has drawn sharp criticism from both sides of the aisle, as well as from survivors of Epstein's abuse. Lawmakers have questioned why some names appear aggressively redacted, including individuals who are not victims, while other documents exposed sensitive victim information. Critics have described the process as inconsistent, confusing, and deeply troubling. The Southern District of New York, now at the center of this latest revelation, was responsible for charging Epstein in 2019 before his death in jail, and later securing the conviction of his longtime associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, in 2021. With more than 1 million documents still unseen, pressure is mounting on the Justice Department. For victims, lawmakers, and the public alike, the question remains, what else is still hidden, and who may be named next? The U.S. Department of Justice on Tuesday released more than 11,000 documents tied to Jeffrey Epstein, the largest disclosure yet, ordered by Congress and anticipated by the public. What the world received, however, is not clarity. Instead, these files reveal power, protection, and Donald Trump's Justice Department is now facing serious questions of its own. Internal FBI emails from 2019 reveal investigators discussed 10 possible co-conspirators linked to the disgraced late sex offender. 6 had been subpoenaed across multiple states. 4 more subpoenas were still pending, including one for a wealthy businessman in Ohio. Most names remain hidden behind redactions. Only Ghislaine Maxwell and a person named Wexner appear unredacted, suggesting former Victoria's Secret CEO Les Wexner. His lawyers insist he was never a target and cooperated fully. Lawmakers argue the victims deserve to know who else investigators were looking at and why those names remain concealed. The files also expose an overlap between the Epstein investigation and another high-profile probe, the case involving Steve Bannon. While reviewing data from Bannon's phone, investigators flagged an image showing Donald Trump and Ghislaine Maxwell together. The response from prosecutors was swift and dismissive. No further action was taken. Separate DOJ emails also reference text messages between Epstein and Bannon, adding to questions about the level of their proximity. The DOJ stresses that references to Trump do not imply wrongdoing and says some claims in the files are false or exaggerated. Perhaps the most serious revelations involve former British Prince Andrew. Newly released documents confirm prosecutors believe they had evidence that the British royal engaged in sexual conduct with one of Epstein's victims. U.S. officials sought a compelled interview under oath through British authorities if Andrew refused voluntary cooperation. Despite this, the DOJ said Andrew was not formally charged and not a U.S. investigative target. He denies all allegations, but the files confirm prosecutors believed they had substantive evidence. One of the strangest inclusions in the document dump is a fake video purporting to show Epstein inside a prison cell on the day of his suicide. Investigators later confirmed it was a 3D animation uploaded online years earlier. There is no video from inside Epstein's cell on the day of his death, yet the fake footage sits inside official DOJ records, illustrating how misinformation, conspiracy, and public confusion found their way into federal files. This is where the files raise the loudest alarms. First, a handwritten letter allegedly from Epstein to another child sex offender, Larry Nassar, appeared in the release, praising victims in grotesque language. The DOJ later claimed the letter was fake, citing handwriting inconsistencies, a wrong jail name, a missing inmate number, and a postmark dated 3 days after Epstein died. Second, lawmakers are furious over excessive redactions. The law explicitly bans redactions meant to avoid embarrassment or reputational harm, yet names of officials, lawyers, and investigators are blacked out, obscuring who made key decisions. Third, the DOJ briefly removed a photo featuring Trump with Epstein and a group of women, then restored it days later. Officials claimed the removal was out of caution for a possible victim, a justification critics say appears selective and inconsistent. Finally, the rollout itself was chaotic. Documents were uploaded, pulled down, reposted, and delayed past the legal deadline. Even now, it's unclear whether the public has received the complete and original record. What was supposed to be a transparency moment has instead become an indictment of how the Epstein case was handled then and now. The Epstein files don't end the story. They expose just how unfinished it really is.